One of the big booms in the industry over the last several years has been the power of the trail camera. Things have drastically changed. I've often thought, dating back to the start of my career as a a guide in the Midwest down in Pike County, Illinois, and boy, I'd like to have those days back with the power of the cameras that we have today. But using the knowledge that we gained back there of the mistakes that we made when we were able to start running the old 35mm cameras and stuff, and now looking to what we have today is pretty powerful. But with that said, it's just like everything, food plots, trail cameras, habitat improvements, everything that comes with that as far as the improvements, I guess I should say, is, the more that folks use them, there's a good and a bad, a pro and a con. The pro to that is things are getting done. You're able to use the aid of the trail cam, now the cell cam, and it's a very powerful tool. Food plots, extremely powerful tool. Every parcel has to have food, and but they're still being placed in the wrong spots and being hunted over, which destroys the power of your food plots. Now, habitat improvements ties into that as well. Putting these habitat improvements in the wrong spots, not being able to get in and out of them, around them, doing more harm than good. So, on the habitat side of it, for the animals, you might be doing a good thing, a good service, but you're not doing yourself a good service if it's put in the wrong spot and you can't get in and out of the farm, and it makes it unhuntable, as I say. So today's video I wanted to chat to you guys about is one of those processes that we've gained knowledge on, and the power of using them over the years, and that's the aid of trail cams. This morning I'm out, it's about 10 o'clock here on the house farm. Got some properties to do this afternoon, some clients to meet, and so I'm getting my to-dos done first, and it's something that I see all the time. I talk to clients about it every day, and I've just never stopped long enough to do a video on it. And it's a huge powerful tool, and a huge issue if not handled correctly. Trail cameras. The next time that you hang a trail camera, do yourself a favor, follow the steps of this video, and it will help you drastically, because like I've said in the past, and I'll probably say it, you guys probably get sick of hearing it, but a million times more,
doing that, what you're gonna
is I'm on these farms. I'm blessed enough to be on these farms every day, where a lot of folks aren't, so I gain the knowledge quicker, but I don't know everything. I'm learning every day. That's why my business, I feel, is successful, because I'm not afraid to tell you or try things like my food plot deal. That screening that I did brought the raw truth to you guys, things that I can learn on my my grounds, my test grounds, if you will, and I can bring that information to you. One thing that I've learned is the topic of these trail cameras. What's being done, I'm going to show you here. Right behind me here, you can see this big red oak. We got the double soft maple right next to it, and then this red oak. That's where our stand is, and going to be. I've got to move it from bottom portion of the ridge this year on the house farm here that is actually for sale. And now that we've got the food plot created down below, I've got the hinge cutting right off the end of the top of this ridge down here. This ridge goes down, and it's definitely a hogback ridge. Goes down, and not very wide on the top, falls off real quick, goes back, and off the end of it is my doe bedding area that we put in adjacent to my food plot, which is over the hill. So like we've said in the past, I access this from the bottom from my east fence row. I come up in, and we hunt this on a south wind, and south wind only. And we come in, and in this situation, my stand is directly behind me here. You can see that stand tree, that red oak over my shoulder. You're looking at the stand. I'm looking to where my licking branch is and my water hole setup. Right down here in front of me is what I find is, I'll show you. I'm gonna spin around here. So that's the stand that you guys are looking at now. You see over this shoulder here, this is my mock scrape and my licking branch. I'll walk down to there in a second. What I'm showing you here today, though, is not so much the licking branches and the scrapes, but the power of placing these trail cameras in the right spot, because this here is my line of travel that comes up over top of this ridge from the bottom, comes up from the fence row. It's a perfect morning setup because the agricultural on the neighboring farm to the east is about a quarter mile, and it's solid ridge system between it. So they dip down in, come up over top of the ridge, cross right through the center of where I've got this, my licking branch, my mock scrape, and they go right through over the top of it, right down, and they quarter skirt, what I call a quarter skirt, on the top of the half quarter of the ridge, and they go back into that bedding area that we promoted. So here's the tip. If I were to place that trail camera, as you can see the trail camera here, if you can follow along with me here, guys, the trail camera is here. I've got this here blocked up. It's wide enough, it just covers the camera. Important tip, make sure it's always wider than the camera. But this is the step. What I'm going to show you here is the steps. So you have stand, then camera, then licking branch and scraper and or water hole. I got to move my water hole down here yet. So this is our scrape, camera, then stand. So when you're accessing, it's just the other way around. You access obviously the stand first, so you don't cut this line of travel. Then you come down and place your trail cameras, then the licking branch and the mock scrape. The reason that I'm taking the time to show you this is because I don't know exactly the percentage, but it's extremely high of the properties that I'm on that guys show me. They've either can show me the tree that their camera was on, landowners, or they tell me obviously this is where this camera was still there. One of two things. Very high percentage of what I find is it's stand, licking branch, then camera. Problem is those licking branches and those mock scrapes, guys, are in the line of travel. You want them in the obviously right in the line of travel, right in the trail. You can see that trail comes right up, goes right through the center of this scrape, right down over the hill. Now, in most cases, what I'll show you is this clump of soft maple right there, or the soft maple that's behind it would be normally what I see as the trail camera tree. Problem with that is you have to get down out of the stand when you check your cards after let's say a morning sit. You get down, everything's gone. You get down, and this is perfect because I've got contour to hide behind. I get down and I come right back up to this trail camera, pull the card. I pull the card here, so I physically walk around the back side of the camera. We're going to get our picture taken here, our video. Physically walk around. I open the camera up, pull the card out, which I'm going to do here in a second. And so this is as far as I go. Then I shut the camera back up. I turn directly back around and I leave. As you can see, I never cut that line of travel. I'm 10 yards, 5 yards from it, 15 feet from it, but I'm perfect trail camera setup, but I'm not cutting that. If I were to go across this, either through the scrape, which it sounds goofy, but I see a lot of, over to check my card, not only am I crossing the line of travel, I'm leaving a scent trail, number one. Number two, walking through the scrape, you take a chance of leaving more sign in that. One of the biggest tools is, or the issues is that if I were to go over here and pull that card from across the line of travel, the camera from across the line of travel, I now expose myself to this entire valley all the way down through. And this is the habitat, not so much up here. It's a little bit more open timber, like I said before, but from here to the west in this valley, on the northwest side of this hogback ridge, the habitat is correct. So any bedding, especially buck bedding from here to the backside, because I'm hunting behind my does now, is that's connected with this hogback ridge. That buck bedding is anywhere down in there, and also further up the top of that ridge system there. So in the point of the ridge. So a very important tip here. So if you are following along with me here, make sure it's stand, then camera, stand, camera, then licking branch and mock scrape. Don't go stand, scrape, licking branch, then the camera across your line of travel. Like I said, it sounds very simple, but there's a lot of tips that I see guys not just that one deal where, you know, you set these licking branches up and you come in to check them, and you know, we'll kind of walk through it here. You're surveying this, you're looking at the licking branch. I'll show you the licking branch here. And again, we're going to get a video taken here. I moved this about a week ago, you can see, guys, and about 4 days ago now, and you can see it's already exposed, open, and they are working great on it. And the reason I moved it is because we now expanded and improved the rest of the habitat on the farm. Now I'm doing this today, coming in front of the trail camera to collect this, to show you this video, or do this video, or to collect this footage, and to show you this mock scrape that I've got suspended with the rope from tree to tree, because I did not have the proper limb. So I suspended it, which is about 8 to 9 foot, and then as you can see, I wired this in, and I also hung the one that I cut down out, the licking branch, the native licking branch, I'll say, is this beech right here, this beech limb. Notice I'm not touching any of this. The beech limb was right over here last year. That was a natural scrape, a native scrape. As goofy as it sounds, I've caught so much slack. You guys tell me I'm extremely crazy, but let me tell you, by cutting that scrape out of there, every deer is on this licking branch, not at that scrape. They're here. So if those are within, what I always tell clients is if they are within, the other scrapes are within bow range, then you know, you can leave them. But I personally cut them out because I want all the attention on that licking branch, and that's where I want all my inventory coming from the cameras. So that's a separate video, but this video is to help folks understand. You can see my stand that's here from last year, before the improvements were done, and now we're moving everything to fit the improvements. So stand, so we're going to walk through this again. Stand, red oak tree behind me. Stand, then so red oak, stand, then the camera, then the licking branch, then your scrape, and your scrape. Make sure it's a big step that a lot of folks are not performing, and the reason is, you walk in, like I said, you find these scrapes. Yep, perfect spot to hang the scrape, and you put the camera on the tree because it's the perfect tree, and then next thing you know, every time that you are collecting this camera, you're walking across or cutting the line of travel to get that card. And if you can use contour like I have here, I sneak in the back door, get down out of the stand. I actually go down the ridge here just 20 yards, but it pops right back up in the back of it. I keep the tree and all this exposure, or without being exposed, I keep all this foliage in front of me. Grab the card from the back side, put the new one in, shut the door, and I'm right back down over the ridge, right back on my same foot tracks that I came into the stand, and I never cut the line of travel. Very, very powerful tool. So I appreciate you guys tuning in this morning. It's one of those informational deals I wanted to bring you, as far as being right here and showing you how it kind of lays out. This little spot here, the new owners are going to take advantage of this, because like I said, you know, the farm is for sale, and it's going to be a hot spot. Someone's going to shoot a mature buck off this, and this is one of the steps to make that happen, is not cutting the line of travel, going across your trail, going across your mock scrapes and your licking branches to pull these cards out of these cameras. Make sure these cameras are in between the scrape and your stand. Thanks, guys.